Hello children, today I will share a very beautiful story with you. The Tooth Fairies and the Cleaning Factory. Let's start the story. Deep in the new forest where no big people ever went, there was a teeny little magical village called the Odin Garden. Here, three little tooth fairies named Incisor, Canine, and Molar were busy at work in their factory. The three tooth fairies were all named after types of teeth. Incisor was tall and skinny with short pink hair. Canine was also tall with blue hair, and Molar was the short, wise, with curly silver locks. All day long, the busy little fairies cleaned and shined the children's milk teeth they had collected during the night. The milk teeth were used to make very useful things in the Odin gardens, like roads in the village and furniture in the homes for the little fairies. One day, Incisor realized that the teeth coming into the cleaning factory were not as strong as they used to be. "Oh dear," said Incisor, "these teeth are fragile and brittle, with holes and black spots. They crumble as soon as I try to polish them with my cloth. Whatever are we to do?" "Yes," said Canine, "I know exactly what's wrong. The children are beginning to eat far too many sweets and are not looking after their teeth at all. I know we can fix it," said Molar the wise one. She sounded quite excited by her grand idea. The three fairies looked at each other and waited while Molar explained all. As usual, it was a fabulous idea. The three of them wasted no time at all and got to work straight away. That night, it was Canine's turn to fly off and collect all the milk teeth from under the sleeping children's pillow. Off she flew with a bag of coins, some white berry sandwiches for her lunch, and a pack of cards which the three fairies had spent all afternoon preparing. It was such a treat to leave the forest and see the city skyline, but it was a dangerous place for fairies. Canine had to make sure that the big people never saw her. She flew through the starry sky and saw the wonderful city fast asleep. Her first stop was a young boy named Junior. Earlier in the night, Junior and his mom had placed his milk tooth under the pillow. Mummy tucked Junior into bed and told him all about the tooth fairy who would leave some money in exchange for his tooth. She gave him a good night kiss and left him to fall asleep. By the time Canine arrived, Junior was fast asleep. She flew in through the top window that was ajar and glided quickly down to Junior's pillow. She perched beside him and dressed herself in preparation for the task. Here, she lifted the pillow and wedged herself between the pillow and the bed. She quickly grabbed the tooth and tossed it over to her backpack. She placed 2 coins and the fairy's special card in exchange under the pillow and flew off into the night sky to find more milk teeth. In the morning, as soon as Junior woke up, he emerged under the pillow to see if the tooth fairy had left any money for him. He was thrilled to find the coins but looked blankly at the card he found in his hand. Mummy did not mention anything about a card. He wondered. He read the card out aloud. The Tooth Fairy's Guide to Healthy Teeth. Number 1. Eat healthy. Number 2. Cut down on sugary sweets and drink. Number 3. Brush your teeth twice a day. Number 4. Use a fluoride toothpaste. Number 5. Visit the dentist regularly. Back in the village of Odin Gardens, the fairies were very happy about the new information card they were giving to the children. Soon enough, the milk teeth coming into the factory were strong and healthy again. I hope children you like the story. You should also implement fairies' advice on tooth so that your tooth remains healthy. Thank you. Hello children. Today I will share a very interesting story with you, Jessie the rabbit. Let's start the story. Jessie the rabbit was eating a carrot in a green meadow one sunny day. He watched the other animals run around and play and he admired them. He had always been the shy one and they were always playing without him. They made fun of him because he got startled so easily. If a tree fell somewhere in the forest, he would rush into his rabbit hole and hide for the rest of the day. You are such a scared kid, Jessie, Teddy the cub one said when he passed by him. You never have any fun, Jessie. But Jessie the rabbit was a cautious and wise rabbit. He knew better than to ignore every sound. I may look stupid and scared, but I will always be prepared for danger, thought Jessie. He would hide and curl up every time he heard a crack or saw a shadow loom over his hole. One fine day, just like any other, a distant crack was heard. A tree fell down and a light brightly burned. Jessie darted into his hole, while the other animal continued frolicking around. Jessie shouted as loud as he could, "Run!" but no one heard him. So he jumped inside in his hole and curled up into a ball. While Jessie was hiding, he could still hear the other laughing. While Jessie was hiding, he could still hear the others laughing. Then all of a sudden, Jessie heard some squeals, some running, and then beavers started shouting, "The forest is on fire! The forest is on fire! Everybody run! The fire is spreading!" The beaver continued to shout as he ran past Jessie's hole. The whole forest was in a wild panic. everything. The animals ran away, leaving behind a cloud of dust and the forest on fire. Only Jessie was left in his hiding place, safe beneath the ground. Jessie had clearly stashed away a supply of food and water in his hole. He knew that one day danger would come and he wanted to be prepared. He was relieved to know he had enough supplies to last until the fire was over. In the distance, Jessie could hear a loud squeal. "Help! Someone help me, please!" Jessie did not want to come out of his hole, as he knew that the fire was spreading. But then he heard the squeal a second and third time. Jessie could not just hide in his hole while someone was out there on his own. Jessie slowly raised his head from his hole. He could see the flaming trees all around. He heard another squeal and turned his head to see Teddy, the cub lying under with his leg caught beneath a thick fallen branch. The ground around him was burning and the fire was getting closer. The Jessie was very scared, but he could not just leave Teddy there. Huffing and puffing, he rushed with incredible speed towards the Teddy. "Jessie, please, you need to find a way to get this thing off," said Teddy. Jessie started running around, looking for a way to help. Jessie saw that the other side of the branch had started to burn and was becoming thinner. Jessie had an idea and he darted down into his hole. He grabbed some of the nut casing that he had stored the water in and ran back towards Teddy. He rushed toward the branch and poured the water on the branch. The branch was now thin and wobbly, but Teddy still could not get his foot free. So, Jessie gathered all his strength and in a single dash smashed his body against it. A crack was heard and the branch broke into half. Freeing Teddy, he slowly got up and approached Jessie. Teddy was surprised at Jessie's heroism and even more surprised at how he had managed to free him. He saw Jessie lying down. Jessie was looking very tired, so he picked him up in his mouth and rushed away from the fire into the cool hills nearby. A few days later, all the animals had settled into a new place in the woods, where the fire had not reached. Everyone was still playing, but something had changed. Teddy, the cub, was taking care of Jessie, the rabbit, who was still recovering. No one laughed at Jessie anymore, for he had saved their friend and they knew of his courage. From that day on, all of them followed in his footsteps and have been careful till this day. They now knew that being careful does not mean that you are not brave. I hope you like the story.